Hey, what's up, everybody? So, episode 99 is today, episode of 100 tomorrow. I'm going to be doing live from Austin, Texas. I'm in Miami. I'm going to Austin YouTube Financial Conference. So, I'm going to be there. All right, let's start with my prediction. Prediction from Tuesday of last week was why I tell you all to please watch YouTube every night. If not, watch the replay because I've been on fire as far as market direction, and it's up to you guys to play out whatever trades. But let's go. Tuesday, I said 2 of the next 3 days will be red. Wednesday was green, implying Thursday and Friday red. I said Friday, quad witching. The UVXY will spike 10 to 12%, and that's not like a one-time occurrence. So it did not surprise me that it went into today. Now, I did act a little too quickly today, but I'll explain my position later. Now, let me tell you which direction the market is going in, what to expect, okay? If you didn't watch me, then you have no clue. If you don't watch YouTube or you're not part of the platform, there's a good chance in the last 5 to 6 trading days, you've lost 20 to 25% on some of your stocks. Some of your riskier 4-letter stock plays, you're down 20 or 25%. You're getting crushed. If you're in option plays and you're long options and you're not part of the platform, you're getting crushed. So let's head right into today. What's driving the market, okay? So you start with this morning. China was off 3.5%. Now, let me focus on China real quick, okay? I mentioned this for a couple decades now, and I'm sorry if I get hate responses here. China happens to lie about their numbers. When their economy is good, they lie and they overstate, stating that they have the best economy in the world, and they're really good. Now, when their economy is shit like now, and some of their ports are closed, and I know this for a fact because I import stuff. All right. So some of their ports are still closed. They have a zero tolerance policy. Their economy is struggling. They have regulations in place. And now they're saying, yeah, not a problem. Things are still going well. Bullshit. BS. I call it on you, China. All right. You put in the regulations. We've got supply issues. We've got our own worries here. OK, the dollar is spiking. We have to worry about the economy. It's not as strong as people say it is. We still have the Delta variant prevalent. We do have new tax rates out. New corporate tax, 26.5%. Personal tax, tad under 40%. It's not terrible. People thought it was going to be a lot worse. It's not as bad as it could have been. Now I'm going to talk about my trades, and then I'm going to get to a lesson and then some questions, okay? So trades, we didn't do a YouTube on Friday. I was in and out of the puts on the SPY 3 times on Friday. All right, SAVA, okay? Last 5 trading days, it dips at open and then it recovers. 4 out of those 5 days, I made 40% on those trades. Anytime SAVA, cassava drops, you can buy it. All right. Today's calls, okay? SPY calls. I did them early in the morning. I made 50%. While the market was going down, it spiked at like 9:35. I made 50% in 10 minutes. All right, before it toasted itself. Then I was in QDEL puts. At 152, it went to 153. It sunk to 149. And then my third position was the UVXY puts. Now, I'm going to explain that real quick. Let me just get to my screen before we do the lesson. UVXY puts. I was wrong in calling the top. I'll be as transparent as I can be. I look for the top. I buy puts. Now, what I didn't realize was I didn't remind myself that the market took a shit on itself Thursday and Friday, and today was just a continuation. So I did say in an 11 a.m. video when it hit me, after I already had my first position, I said things could get uglier in the market, but if you pay attention, there should be some buying around 3:45 p.m., maybe 3:30, maybe it starts a little earlier. What did we see? When the SPY hit 430, it spiked up like 434 in like 20 minutes. It spiked a full percent up. So that's crazy. The UVXY, which was as high as $30.81. And again, I'm going to talk about my positions in a second. Went as low as like what? Back to 27, maybe 26.90 something. I think it closed at like 27.30 or something close to that. Now I'm going to talk about my UVXY positions. I'm going to talk about the one donkey who quit my platform today. And I'm going to call him out the same way he tried to call me out. So before I talk about that one donkey, here's what we did. UVXY spiked this morning. I said to myself, it could recover today, and then we could see a sell-off tomorrow. So that was my strategy. The market would recover at like 10:30, 11 o'clock, and then tomorrow the sell-off would continue because I was pretty sure the market was going down lower. However, the market had a change of plans. It sold off harder and then actually started the recovery. So my game plan tomorrow isn't that the market's going to sell off. It's actually that the market's going to have that dead cat bounce higher. So now you have my market direction for tomorrow. What am I expecting? I'm expecting a couple hundred points in a bullish direction, and we know that I'm not bullish on the market. but I know what to expect tomorrow. So let's talk about my UVXY puts. So first spike, $27.62. I bought 20 contracts at $1.30. Okay. Then it looked like it was going down and it spiked up even harder. And then I bought 20 more contracts. When the UVXY was $29, I said, all right, second spike, 29, 29.04, 29.10. I'll buy 20 more contracts. Boom, I'm in for 20 more contracts. Then it spikes to $30. And this is later on in the day. I say, okay, I'll buy 50 more contracts. Okay. So I take my average cost just under $1.09 per contract. So right now I'm green. I think it finished the day somewhere between $1.10 and maybe $1.16. I think I'm just a little green. What do I expect for the UVXY? So I'll get to that in a second. I'm only talk to that one person who said they had a small account, okay? You have a small account. The one option you're not going to play today would be like SPY calls or puts or the UVXY. You have $100 in your account or something like that. You could blow up your account and go from 100 to 0. Okay, so let's say he bought the same option I bought, $130. It went as low as 92. It finished at $1.10. He bought one contract because we talk about testing the waters. If you jumped in with 3 feet, 2 feet, 8 feet, and you bought too many contracts or you bought your whole account, then yes, you're down like 25%. That sucks that you break the rules. But let's assume he just bought one. So it goes down, it goes back up. He's down right now $16. You pay $3.49 a week for my market guidance, for my trades, for my lessons, for my transparency. So the dude's cursing me out or something like that. I don't know. That's how I kind of felt it or took it. When I enter into a position, there's no instant gratification. So let's talk about the lesson real quick. Why I chose puts versus calls on the UVXY. This is very important so you can get into my mind, okay? The reason I chose puts is my options expire on Friday. So I have 4.5 days left. Now, let's say I go into calls this morning when it was like $28, okay? I go into calls and the market corrects itself at 11 a.m. and doesn't drop off the face of the earth. The calls are going down in value. I'm down 20 or 30%, and the market's correcting itself, making me think that the next day would be a green day. So the UVXY calls would go down even lower. So it's all about risk. I didn't want to absorb that risk. Now, granted, I would have had instant gratification if I had taken that risk, but I chose the safer play. The safer play on the UVXY is that you would buy puts at what you call the top. The reason it's the safer play is I don't think the market is going to lose 800 points today, 666 points today, 400 points tomorrow, 400 Wednesday, Thursday, 200 Friday. That shit ain't happening. In my mind, which I talked about, my chess move, always have 2 moves set aside. If the market threw up on itself 800 points today, 600 points, it would rebound and we're going to gain back at least, I want to say half, but I'll say on the shallow side, 200, 300 points tomorrow. Yeah, so let's say half. I think we gain back half of what we lost today tomorrow. It's not a win. It's only a win if you have your money on the side and you enter at the best point. If you enter and you're riding the elevator up and down and you're like, how's this dude talking about winning strategy? I'm just riding it up and down. The whole thing is we don't ride that elevator up and down. Fuck no. Why would we do that? We look for what we call the top. We buy, we wait for it to go down. We make money. That's what we're doing. Okay, so that was the let me get to the lesson for today. Okay. So let me explain the reasoning. Okay, so I already told you basically the reasoning. The reasoning was if I'm wrong about the UVXY today, let's say it closed at $30. It didn't. It closed at $27.30. So I look to start being correct. But let's say it closed at $30. I've got 4 more days. Now, if I get the bounce tomorrow, it'll go down 10%. So it would have gone down to 27. Well, shit, we're almost there already. We're at 27.30 something. I don't worry about after hours. So whether it's up 2%, 3%, down 2%, 3%, I don't give a shit. What I expect to happen is, same as our markets, I expect Hong Kong to bounce tomorrow. I expect Hong Kong to bounce probably 2 to 2.5%. No freaking news. It's just going to bounce. That's the shit that happens in our market. When it tanks, that's what happens. Tomorrow, there's no reason, but we're going to get that dead cat bounce. That's what my prediction is, all right? And we all know I read the market well. All right, so let me get back to that lesson. My lesson today, it's great. It's about emotion, and it has to do with a lifetime member, and I'm not going to call him or her out. I'll mention their trades. So when their trades are bad, and somebody else on the regular platform made a question of this, when their trades are bad and they're losing 20 or 30%, they're adding to that position. Now it's down 40 or 50%. What they do on bad trades is They ride that shit too long. They're on the bus and it keeps doing loops around you. You're never getting off the fucking bus, so you're losing money. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to get off the bus. I want you to think and analyze your position. So if you're not trading with emotion, you're using math. So when you figure it out that it's going down, you set a stop loss and you're out. You don't have to stay fully convicted to that position. The same is true. She had a ton. I gave it up. It's a woman. She had a ton of SPY puts on Thursday, on Friday, and today. Now, I didn't ask her about today. Hopefully she made like a couple 100%. But Thursday and Friday, she mentioned she made like 40%, 30%, 50%. She was looking to re-enter. I said, you could have made 200%. When your positions are bad, most people, now I'm not picking on her or anybody else, but understand the psychology of trading. Most people, you and I, when we're riding a bad position, we tell ourselves it's going to turn around. It's going to change. Now, here's the thing. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to analyze your position, and you say to yourself, okay, my option, let's use my UVXY option. It's worth $1.10 now. I say to myself, my stop loss in my mind tomorrow is if it goes down to 90 cents, I will get out. If the UVXY spikes above $30, I will cut my position thinking that the UVXY could spike another 10% to 33. I'm just giving that as an example. I don't think that's going to happen at all. But the point is, I'm planning. I have a strategy. If for some reason the UVXY spikes 10% tomorrow, I say to myself, shit, 10%, it might spike 25%, and I don't want to ride the extra 15% in the wrong direction. So I would cut a stop loss. All right. The same way I say to myself, Matt, if you're right about the market, which, I think I'm going to be right. I think the market's going to rebound half of what it lost today. So let's say 300 points to 200 points. What's going to happen to the UVXY? It's going to go down 7.89%. Let's say 8%. So that's what? That's close to $2. So if it finished the day at 27.32, it's going to be in the 25 to 25.50 range tomorrow. Let's even say under $26. Under $26 makes me close to 50%. So let's go back to the lesson. The lesson was I could have done calls, which in my opinion were more risky at the time at 10:30 or 11 a.m. because I thought the market could reverse. Or I could do the safer thing since I have 4 days either way and take the puts knowing that I could average down like we've done in the past. Now, let me remind everybody of my perfect record against the UVXY. I'm fucking undefeated. I go to battle. I come out victorious. That shit is true. All right, so back to the emotion. The emotion is people say, I choose the wrong time to exit when I'm winning. I always exit out too soon. I could have made 100%, but I only made 40. However, when I'm losing and I'm down 40%, I will average down and then I'll end up selling when I'm down 80%. And that doesn't help me. I sell 10 contracts when I'm down 80%. I sell my 10 contracts when I'm up 40%. I'm still a loser, Matt. How do I change that? So here it is. You have to understand both your position, where it could go positively or negatively. So you say to yourself, okay, if it goes down, I'll take this much as a loss. 23% is a loss. However, if it goes up and I'm right, now the example will be UVXY. If I'm correct about the market bouncing back tomorrow, the UVXY max value could drop, and this would be if the markets were like gangbusters for some reason tomorrow, could drop 14%. All right, highly unlikely. But I have it and I figure it out. I do the math in my mind. And I say 14%. That's about like $3.80, let's say $3.80, which would put it at like $24.50. Okay. That's best case scenario. Then I say to myself, if I'm just correct about the market and I get 4, 6, 8%, let's focus on 6%. Let's go for $1.50. That'll put it at like $25.80. That would be a good position because anything under $26 makes me very profitable and exits me out of my position. So now I have two scenarios where I get max value. So the point is, if I see it dropping, I do my estimation. If I say to myself, oh, it could be at 14%, the market looks real strong, I'm holding. When the SPY looked like shit on Thursday, Friday, and today, you didn't want to sell your position because you didn't give yourself a chance to be right. You can really tell the market direction by 11 a.m. If you want to hold your options and decide at 11 a.m. on the dot, you can do that. But I teach you trade without emotion. So I don't want you looking at Robinhood, seeing that shit spike and going, okay, I got to sell. I want you planning in advance, thinking about what number you want. When you have a beautiful sports car and someone's going to buy it from you, you want to think in advance. You don't want someone to walk up with just handfuls of cash and go, here, do you like it? And sprinkle the cash. And you're like, oh, y'all take it. And it's only $24,000, but you really wanted $35,000. So I don't want you to be enticed because your Robinhood or Webull or E-Trade or TD Trade, whatever account looks good in the morning because it's up 42%. Don't be enticed. If you had a specific game plan and your game plan was 80%, you're going to get that 80%. So real quick about the market direction. What I told people today is it could get worse and worse throughout the day. I don't see any major dips after 11 or 12 o'clock, and I could see it recovering. And when it recovers, it's going to go real quick, a real quick spike. And I said it might take to the end of the day to see that, which is exactly what we saw, which is why I believe I will be correct about my UVXY position, because I'm reading the market well. I did all the things the right way. I dipped my toe in with 20 contracts. I doubled down with another 20 contracts, still only 2 positions. My third position, I doubled down with 50 more contracts because I told you guys I was willing to go 200 contracts strong. So I'm only 90 in, and I have a game plan. All right, so let's get to some questions. Carlos is around. Oh, again, everybody that missed it earlier, tomorrow is our 100th episode, and we will be shooting it live in Austin, Texas. If you haven't subscribed, you hit it right there. Hit that subscribe button, ring that bell. That way you get notifications. I go live Monday through Thursday at 4:30 p.m. I have a platform. It should be there. There it is. 349 Trading. I charge $3.49 a week. Oh, most important, that like button right there. Can you hit that for me? Because YouTube is algorithms. And again, I do this. I try and give you guys knowledge. I'm not perfect, but I'm damn accurate, and hopefully I'm damn helpful, because if you don't watch this and you haven't been watching YouTube and you were bullish last week in the market, God forbid, you probably lost 20% from Wednesday until today, and that would suck. All right, let's get some questions up, please. All right. What is up, Ian? All right, 349 fam. Should I sell all of my long positions now or wait till tomorrow to see if the market? Okay, I'm assuming you mean like maybe 401ks or long stock positions. You're probably newer to the family. I mentioned about 3 weeks ago that I was selling all of my stock positions, and I'm still holding on to about 8 different stocks that are actually holding their own during any type of recession or drop or correction. So I've got rid of most of mine. I've got 84.1% now. I was at 81.9%. I have 84.1% of my money on the side. My options play, which is less than 1% of my account, all my money, besides for my UVXY puts, are on the side right now. I have no SPY call. I have no anything else. The only thing I might consider is maybe SPY calls. But again, I missed the ride up from 430 to 434. That 30-minute ride, I was in the UVXY puts, but either one would have been profitable. Okay, let's get another question. Hey, thoughts on holding Tesla puts? All right, so most of the answers or responses are going to be how I feel about the market. Understand, I'm not a financial advisor. This is my personal opinion. So most of my answers, if you tell me Tesla, Apple, Google, something like that, they're all going to look somewhat the same. And I know China will impact Tesla more than it would impact Apple or Google, or probably just Google. Apple will still get impacted. The point is, if I think the market's going to have a bit of a recovery tomorrow, I'm going to tell you, geez, I don't know if I'd be in Tesla puts. But let me look at this stock real quick. And you're saying, I feel Tesla's overweight in China. Yeah, so unfortunately, here's the thing about Tesla. They're not going to make their money from the cars. They've got these other energy ideas and battery ideas and partnerships and developments. And Elon is the champion. He's a freaking genius, right? It was his SpaceX that just took some people out to space. I don't know where he was congratulating someone. Man, they're all so smart. I guess the space tourism is going to take off. And when the market's correct itself, we're not talking about space or any of those companies right now, but those companies are going to double in value. Astro, which I don't like, at $9.20 something cents. When it bottoms, if it's $9, it'll be worth $16 or $17 6 months from now, which is a hell of a return. I know you didn't ask about that. So let's look at Tesla real quick. Let me pull it up. TSLA. All right, Tesla. All right, there was some good selling today. 727 seems to be a bottom kind of area. So here's the thing. If the market sells off tomorrow and we have a bad day or just an average to bad day, Tesla could definitely visit $708, which would be like another $22 down, which would be great for Tesla puts. However, if I'm correct about the market and there's just a quick bounce and it's almost like a V, right? And we say we bounced 300 points and most of it's going to come overnight. If Hang Seng, if the Chinese market is up 2 or 2.5% overnight, our futures are going to open up the same thing. We'll be up like, 1% or 0.5%. It'll be so close to like there'll be a spike, then a dip, then a spike. I should talk about that before I leave today. Carlos, please remind me to talk about what happens if our futures are very spiky tomorrow morning. I'll talk about it right at the end because I'll have a different strategy. If the market opens down tomorrow, say the futures are off 50 to 100 points, I know what to expect. Now, say the futures are up 300 points and there's a reversal overnight and Wall Street doesn't get to partake in it. I know exactly what they're going to do to the market and how the market is going to end up. But I'll talk about that at the end. Let me finish the questions. So again, Tesla, if you get the bounce, you're going to be right up into the 749 period where you're up 19 points tomorrow. And if it's negative, you're going to drop 20 points. So one way or the other, Tesla's going up 20 points tomorrow or down 20 points tomorrow. For me, that is a gamble. There's no one sense or the other. In fact, I would be more strong that maybe the market has a quick bounce tomorrow. So I'd be careful about Tesla puts. All right, another question. All right, STX. Oh, one of our favorite stocks. I haven't looked at that in a while, but I would love to check that out. I mean, I looked at TTD also, which had some crazy action yesterday when the market was getting beat up. It was doing well. All right, so STX has inflow. It's chips. Now, if you're looking at the 1 month chart like I am, and it had inflow today and inflow 3 out of the last 4 days, it could easily complete a W. See how the W looks, the third leg of the W? So here's the thing. If I'm right and say the market is green tomorrow and it rebounds, and I reserve the right to change my mind in the morning, if I see futures are shit and a huge sell-off, I don't have to stick to my position. I'll go on my platform prior to 9 a.m. I'll do a video and I'll be like, hey, I was wrong about futures. It's going to be a terrible day. They're off by 500%. I'm going to get out at open at 40 cents on the dollar or whatever it is, and I'm going to wait till the spike and buy that shit back. I don't think it's going to happen, but that's also a plan. All right, STX. Yeah, it could be completing the W. If it completes the W, it could bounce hard back up to $85, up $2 tomorrow. So, yeah, I like that position, man. I would average down and I would sell on the spike. I would do both of those, Bryce. I would average down. I would average down today. Let's see how it looked today to close out the day. Oh, man, you should have averaged down at 11 or 1 o'clock. There was heavy buying at the very end of the day. So you're hoping the futures are off tomorrow and you get a steal tomorrow morning. That's what you're hoping for. All right, next question, please. All right, end of the day. You're green. Thank you. Yes, Daniel, I saw your chat in the lifetime chat. Daniel said I think he was down $4,000 this morning. And then he flicked his trading platform on end of the day, and he was up $568. How the hell is that possible? I think it was his quote. And yes, you were green. So that's great, bro. Yes. Hey, Matt, what do I think about NVIDIA? It recovers like it was before. No, it is certainly not going to recover like it was before. Understand, we were at all-time highs. NVIDIA spiked to what? 224, 225. Now it's what? Is it under? Let's see where it is. NVIDIA. Here we go. Yeah, 211. All right. So it's not going back to 224. It should hover. It was down 8 points today. So understand that the high was 214. So the high was still down 5 points. So it just had downward pressure. They knew it was going to be a selling day. The good news is if you get a quick bounce, you could see 215 or 216 tomorrow. Oh, if I get a bounce on anything tomorrow and I'm correct about the market, I will be selling and taking profit. If I had NVIDIA and say I entered calls before the close of today and NVIDIA spikes up, let's say it spikes up another $8 or $7 tomorrow, boom, I'm out. I'm securing profit. So everybody, please secure profit. Don't be a bag holder. Don't ride the elevator up. Don't ride the elevator down. All right, next question, please. Okay, Rocket. All right, perfect. So many people asked me other questions today, and I said, yeah. And there were more theoretical questions about the market. I said, great question. You should come to YouTube and ask it on YouTube. And they're like, I'll see you at 4:30. But they don't ask. I'm just seeing stock questions. It's okay to ask other questions about the market or China or about the $300 billion that the second largest Chinese property management team is about to blow through Evergreen. All right, RKT. Rocket companies. Remember, you guys were giving that out at like $20, $21. I said it looks like shit. Yeah. Now the company's down at $16. There was inflow today. I would stay away from this company. So Rocket calls. Yeah, I would stay away from that. I don't think you're going to get a severe bounce. If you get a bounce on Rocket, you might get 60 cents. It's not risk versus reward. Please stay away from Rocket companies right now. Let's see if they have any earnings. $3 a share. Blah, blah, blah. What's the price for book? Yeah, price per book 52. Stay away. It looks expensive to me. So even in a decent market or a bounce, I'd stay away from Rocket. Let's get another question up there, please. Jizzy, you could be right, bro. You could be right. So what we saw today is we saw the throw up, boom, then we saw a bit of a recovery at the end. You definitely could be right. So when I say what I expect, I'm basing it on a bad Thursday, a throw up Friday, and an even worse Monday, all right? And I'm basing it on the last 4 times the market has gone down 700 to 900 points that day. The next day, it's incredibly bounced back, and it's always been 700 to 900 points, which I don't even think is possible. So I would not say, geez, I mean, I would be shocked. Again, the UVXY will go down 14% if the market bounces back 600 points tomorrow. If it bounces back half that, you'll look for 7 or 8% on the UVXY. If it throws up, which it totally could, you'd have to watch the Hang Seng. If the Hang Seng loses 2.5%, it could. Now, why else could the market throw up? Let's remove the question real quick, Carlos, because I'm going to talk about margin calls real quick. There were margin calls that were established today, meaning you say you're in the market, you're big money, and you borrow a ton of money. The market tanks on Friday, and it took a shit right before it closed. I mean, it looked so freaking ugly that people, more than expected, received margin calls. Probably via email at 4:30. It says, hey, you need to put in $38,000 into your account. Some people receive margin calls like you need to put in $38 million in your account, and others probably receive margin calls like you need to put in $138 million. And if you don't have that, we're going to start liquidating your shit on Monday. So when the market did this morning, liquidation was beginning, and I shot a quick YouTube blurb. So if you subscribe, which is right there, you probably got it. No, you probably didn't because you didn't push the bell. If you get notified, I release videos sometimes where I just see shit so clear. So today I was like, it's not done. If you think the market's done throwing up on itself, it's not done. And you could erode any of those positions up. Again, I explained why I chose UVXY puts for myself at what I thought was the high because it's a safer play. But anybody that watched my video, which was released pre-market, and I think we dropped it at like 9:20 a.m., could have been like, all right, UVXY calls, it's up like 5 or 6%. If Matt's right, maybe we get 20% move. If you got the 20% move, you made anywhere from 180 to 240%. All right, let's get another question up there, please. Hey, you killed it on the SQQQ. Thank you. Yes, I'm so glad you did. You reached out on the side. She asked a question, how the SQQQ reacts to the market and how it reacts to the TQQQ. So I explained that they are opposite. It's like Bizarro World. TQQQ goes up when the NASDAQ goes up. SQQQ goes up when the NASDAQ goes down. All right? All right, next question, please, or comment. And please, yes, hit the like button. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Jizzy. All right, Daniel. Daniel, whose day was red, who turned from red to green. Probably the only person here that can afford Google options because they're so freaking expensive. All right, Daniel, you have 4 of them at $3,078 per. So let's understand that Daniel has close to, $12,400 invested. Now, also understand Daniel's options expire 10/15. So it's almost like owning Google stock. Google stock is $2,900, $2,800, $2,700 a share, whatever it is. Instead, you could buy 6 shares of Google, or you could buy 4 options. I would go with the 4 options. Am I in a comfortable position? All right, let's look at it. And let's tell you if the chart looks like a loser. Now, you don't want to be wrong on that. Just like you don't want to be wrong on Tesla. If you're wrong, that is major money. All right, now the good news for you, actually the great news for you is I believe the outflow 2 days ago on Friday for Google was overstated. I think it was real cheap today, and I think people were buying it. It went to 27.41. It finished at 27.80. Its high was 27.87. So it finished near the high, still down. There was inflow today. There was definitely a short who thinks the market's going down because he put up 500 shares after hours, which is what, $1.5 million. So yeah, you're in tune with the market. You want me to be right. You want futures to turn green. Now, if futures are going to turn green, I'll tell you exactly when it's going to happen. It's going to happen around 3 or 2 a.m. All right, the Chinese market's going to open. They're 12 hours off. So that would be like 2, 3 p.m. So again, if the Chinese market rebounds 2.5%, you might see movement at like 11 p.m. Eastern time, taking all the way to 2, 3 p.m., 3 a.m. Now, if I'm wrong, if the Chinese market shits on itself, loses another 2.5%, expect our futures to take a crap on themselves. Even if you say some pre-market spikes, I will be thinking about exit strategy, or I will be thinking about how to extend the livelihood of my options. All right, another question, please. All right, do you set bids for contract? Yes, sometimes I do based on the market. Now, here's the great thing about today. I'll explain how I set my bids today. My SPY calls, I only had $60 in a small account. So the SPY options I was going to buy were like $72. So I said, I'll pay $59. I'll buy one contract. And then I said, if it's good at $59 from 72, which is like a 20% discount, I'll buy them in my other account. So I put it for 59 cents. As soon as they got executed, I think it went maybe a couple cents lower. But I said to myself, a good return would be like 40%. 4 times 6 is 24 cents, 83 cents, 84 cents. So I put in the ask right away for all of my accounts, 83 on some, 84 on another. They sold within like 20 minutes. And then the SPY went down. There were call options. And then I said, okay, QDEL, I wanted puts. They make like COVID testing. I just thought they were going up and the market was down. I said they have to go down. So they hit 153. At 152, I bought an option and I paid $80. At the time I paid $80, the bid was 60. The ask was 120. I said to myself, if I get it for $80, I'm going to say and turn around and ask 120 because that's the current ask anyway. And if I'm right, if it goes down, someone will gladly pay me. So I got it for $80. I set my ask to 120, which is 50% profit. It happened within 30 minutes. Now, the thing is, QDEL went down to like 148 and change. I probably could have got over $2, meaning I probably could have got 140%. But again, I was doing it without emotion. I was trading off of math. I said, if I get this for 80 for a small account, I'll sell it for 120. If it sells, my small account went from $60 today to $112. It went up 80-something% in one day. So when you don't think you can take a small account, and I already posted about it. I'll post what I do tomorrow. It'll be one option. I have $112. Guess what I'm going to buy? I'm going to buy one contract for $110, which means at some point during the day, I'm going to find a contract that's selling for $150, and I'm going to look for it to go down to 110. And if I get a 40% discount at some point and I pick it up for 110, I tried to do that with a different stock that I mentioned today. DOCX. DOCS is in Sam. I said in good market days, that'll move 8% higher. In bad market days, it'll move 8% lower. So I had some puts there, only like 2 contracts. All right. So yeah, I said I don't necessarily do it before unless I'm going to sell something. If I have a contract that's $1 right now and I want $1.40, I don't care. I'll set it pre-market. I'll be like, pay me $1.40. If the market opens and I get $1.40, I'm out of there because all I wanted to do is make 40%. All right. What's the chance WORX goes off tomorrow? I don't even know what that stock is. I'm assuming it's Work something, right? WorkX. WORX. SC Works Corp. Oh, I don't know. It looks cheap, right? Yeah, that's the $2 stuff. What are the chances that it goes off, like it explodes? Absolutely zero. Your volume is so freaking light. If you told me that they had an announcement, they were replacing the CEO, or somebody like a hedge fund was buying 5% in, or there was an F3 or an S3 reporter or something like that, or if there was any reason, they don't earn any money. They have a $22 million market cap, which means, let me tell you something. When I used to run my other company, I did more business than some of these companies. You know, Blink had zero revenue for like the longest time. I used to do a few million, like 4.1 million was the high of one of my companies. Anyway, so yeah, I would be staying away. I had profits. My companies are run profitable. This one looks like shit. I mean, maybe you get a little bit of bounce, but there's no reason to bounce if there's no news. I would stay the hell away from that one, please. All right, Carlos, what happens? Oh, the question. Perfect question, Carlos. All right. So here it is. Let's remove that question. Let's talk about what I think tomorrow, okay? So today, let's go back to Tuesday. Tuesday, I already said Wednesday went up. Then you had Thursday, Friday selling off. Would continue into Monday sell-off, okay? So that leads us to Tuesday. Today was harder sell-off than I thought. The volume was pretty freaking strong, harder than Friday. I think we hit rock bottom. We started to rebound. It sold off again. We started to rebound, and at 3 o'clock or 3:30, it moved real good. That's telling you direction. That 3:30 move is telling you direction. Now, here's the thing. Wall Street doesn't like to get fooled. They don't want to be fooled, meaning they want to partake in the gains. So if they're not profiting and futures are hypothetically up 200 points in a perfect, environment, if you're a bull, futures are up 200 points. Wall Street's going to be like, F you, dude. That's not happening. No, we're going to sell off, and they're going to sell off pre-market, 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock. They're going to force that shit down. And then at 9:30, when all the retail traders start unloading their bags and selling, oh, it's going to be a terrible day, and the UVXY is spiking. Oh, it's up to 28.5, 29, and they're selling. Wall Street's going to step in at 10 a.m., 10:10, and start buying everything up. So that's one perspective. If futures are strong, I expect a sell-off and then a repurchase. All right, because they want to profit in that. If futures are weak, all right, let's say the Hang Seng is plus 0.5%. It's not taking a shit on itself, but our futures are still off 50 or 75 or 80 points, and the market opens and everything's off 60 points. What do I expect? I expect a quick bounce to even, and then I expect a drop to probably 40 points again, a quick bounce to plus 20, a drop. I expect the market to be green tomorrow, unless China takes a shit on itself or they come out with regulations. Oh, real quick, you know what's kind of effed up, right? That we dropped a bomb on what we thought was ISIS-K over in Afghanistan, and the intelligence came in as the bomb was dropping on these little kids, 7 to 10 of them, and one adult, right? The intelligence came in to the president and said these are civilians. And it takes him longer than a day, because the next day he came out and I was like, yes, I'm proud to be an American. We blew up ISIS-K when they were going to bomb us. But we didn't. We killed kids and an individual who probably was pro-USA. He had kids. He probably wanted his kids to grow up in a democratic kind of way. The thing is, what is wrong with our country that it takes days for the story to come out that we did this? Anyway, let's have a great day of trading. Thanks for watching, everybody. Sorry for venting. Got to do it every once in a while. Tomorrow, tune in episode 100.